Good. Okay. So everybody please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Route of egress. In the event of an emergency, all people may exit right or left from this room and proceed to an exit door. All doors will open from the inside. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Haledon Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published in the New Jersey Record Herald News, the board's official newspaper, on January 10th, 2024. Notices of this meeting indicating date, time, and place were posted publicly on the door of the main entrance to the school and filed with the clerk in the municipality of Haledon. Roll call, please.
Mr. Abbasi,
Here.
Mr. Coletta, Ms. Quadrado,
Here.
Mr. Guzman, Mr. Martinez.
Here.
Oh, okay. Mr. Moxell,
Here.
Mr. Ramadan,
Here.
Dr. Webb,
Here.
and Mrs. Issa.
Okay, so the first order of business is we have some presentations and some honors to give. We're going to start with two of our retirees this year. Mr. Walker, do you want to do the
Sure.
honors?
So we'll start with our lovely vice principal, who was here for quite a while and accomplished a whole lot of tremendous things. You know, Ms. Barnhill's absolutely part of the fabric of the Haledon Public Schools. She was here, then she went elsewhere, and she saw that the grass was greener here, and she knew to come back. And this was her last year at HPS, and we still talk about her all the time and think about her, and you know, she's still part of what we do. But we wish her the best retirement. We'd like her to come up and say a few words if she would.
Yes, I should come to the microphone.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Beth Barnhill. Thank you for having me this evening. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to address the rest of this to my friends in the audience because you have really been my family for a long time. Not once, as Mr. Waka said, but twice. I was very fortunate to be able to come back and resume the duties that I had for 5 years before I left, and tried to fly on my own wings. And I found out that without my family here, it wasn't nearly as much fun. So it's been a real honor for me to be here at the school and watch the growth, not only of the students and the staff, but of the building and all of the good things that are here that are good because of the people that are in the building. So thank you again for allowing me to be part of it for a long time. And I know we're in great hands now. Ms. Pulizano is she's still sane. I saw her earlier and she appears to be relatively sane. So take good care of her. She's going to take good care of you too. So thank you again for allowing me to be here for a long time, and I will come back to visit. Thank you.
Can I get a picture? Picture?
Oh, picture.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next recipient, Emilio. Emilio, I don't believe he's here tonight, or if he comes later, then we'll change course and officially honor him. He's a custodian that's been here for 15 years. In fact, when I first started working, I had to pick something up at the Woodland Park School District. I drove there, and he was the custodian that let me in the front door. And I said, "Wait a second, you're a Haledon custodian. What are you doing here?" But he was just a really hardworking person. He worked 2 different jobs, 2 different districts, to provide. And, you know, just a real good example of a really hardworking and good human being. So we thank him for all he's done to keep the school safe and orderly for our kids and our staff and everyone that's come to our doors. So we thank Emilio.
Okay, so next we have our Teacher of the Year Award and our Educational Professional of the Year Award. And those are 2 really significant recognitions because I believe that they are chosen by their peers.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's start with the year. This year it is Mrs. Jennifer Polizano.
Hang on, back over here, if that's okay. Mr. Walker said I only have 17 minutes.
I did not say that.
17, so I'm gonna go with that. Good evening, Mr. Walker and the Board of Education. I want to begin by thanking my fellow teachers who took the time to nominate me for this amazing honor. The staff at HPS is second to none, and I'm truly to be recognized among my peers. Next, I would like to thank my family. My dad and stepmom are here tonight. They both have always instilled in me to never stop working hard and fighting for the things that I'm passionate about. Sorry, I've been very emotional today. Lexi walked in and I started crying. I haven't seen her.
It's okay.
My husband, Anthony, he puts up with me. Do I really need to say any more? Probably not. Tammy girl, you are my wildflower in a field full of roses. Watching you become a part of HPS has married the 2 best parts of my life. To succeed in education, you need to think outside of the box. I am very aware that not all students learn the same. They also need love and attention in very different ways. Connections and relationships have always been paramount for me in my educational journey. If you can show a kid you care, those kids will move mountains and will show you the best side of them. My son was diagnosed with a rare genetic disease when he was 2 years old. He is turning 10 years old tomorrow. He has a complex medical and educational history. This took me not only on a professional journey, but on a personal one. He is my outside of the box kid, and every day is my reminder to be the best educator that I can be. Thank you, JP, for being my biggest teacher and my inspiration. This speech was very hard for me to write, not because I didn't have enough to say, but because I had too much to say. There are so many educators in this building, retired, or that have moved on, that have helped to mold and shape me into who I am today. I believe that teaching is one of the hardest jobs there is, and the HPS is among the best when it comes to its staff. The teachers, paraprofessionals, secretaries, custodians, and administrators all work together. We pick each other up. We make the kids in this building feel loved, important, and valued. This staff bands together through it all. We share in the happiest of times and the saddest of times. We celebrate love and life in a way that doesn't just happen anywhere. I have pretty much spent over half of my life being an educator at Hilton Public School. I started my career here as a 20-year-old kid who wasn't sure where her life was headed. I thought I was going to become a social worker and pursue a master's degree in guidance, but HPS had other plans for me. I began an internship with the guidance department and I never left. The connection for me was instant. I've worn many hats over my years here and I've learned something valuable from each one. I have had the honor of being mentored by some pretty outstanding people throughout my career. I could go on for hours, seriously, hours, talking about all the people that I work with and how they have impacted me through the years. Thank you will never be enough to all of you. One special person I would like to shout out is Cindy Volpe. She is now living her best retired life, which has been well earned, but she is terribly missed. Cindy has always been my biggest cheerleader. She has celebrated my accomplishments, listened to me rant, pushed me to always hold fast in what I believe in, and told it to me straight when I needed to hear it most. Every day I'm grateful that this community shares their children with me. To allow me to spend time with the people in the world that are your everything makes me bring my everything to the table every day, no matter what. You trust me with the most valuable thing in your life, and I will always do everything I can to make your child feel loved, supported, safe, and cared about, both inside and outside of the school building. Teaching is not only about core lessons and following curriculum. It is about making full relationships and educating every child on every level. This is part of our culture here, and in my opinion, is why HPS is the best place to work. Kids learn from your example. I have teachers working with me currently, parents I have taught, and now their children who are currently at HPS. The common theme for me is that I always want them to feel valued, important, and heard. School is a place where every child should feel like they can take on the world and that they belong. As an educator, we need to embrace every child and help them reach the top of their mountain. I would like you all to remember, we love your kids. They are not just a job for us. We take home with us the task of having them excel both academically and socially. After working hours, we think about the funny things your kids did that day. We also think about the not so great things that happened that day. We want to see them thrive and excel. As educators, we are in it all the time. I have been lucky to be surrounded by people who have empowered me, supported me, and picked me up. There's no place like Heldon Public School, and the next time you have the opportunity, please remind your child's teacher how amazing they are. It has truly been my honor to be an educator here at HPS. This year has been nothing short of a whirlwind for me. From being a classroom teacher to a support teacher and now an administrator, nothing brings me more joy than continuing my career in this capacity. Thank you for your constant support. The memories I have made here are endless, and I look forward to continuing to add to my chapters in my book. Let's go Wildcats.
After we do the education versus professional, we'll take a little break and we can take pictures and all of that. Thank you, Ms. Lozano. And now for the educational professional of the year, Ms. Lauren Heisler.
Good evening, everyone. I am truly grateful to be the recipient of this year's Education Service Provider Award. It means a great deal to me to be acknowledged after a few years in the position of social emotional learning counselor. Many of you here tonight do not know much about why I started my career in education at Heldon Public School. I'd like to share that story briefly with you. Since I was a little girl, Heldon has been a special place for me. My grandparents raised my mother here and lived in Heldon until I was a teenager. The values that were instilled in me and the memories that I have with my family, all of being in Heldon, are nothing short of perfect and have made me who I am today. My grandparents always taught me to have compassion for others and a strong work ethic. So when it was time to begin my practicum with William Patterson, the first and only placement I wanted to complete my experience was Heldon Public School. I was ecstatic when I got accepted and felt at home ever since. As years pass, I've grown fonder of the Heldon community and all of my students, their families, and amazing friends I've made over the years. Everyone has been a large part of my journey and my success as SEL counselor. I cannot go without acknowledging the strong support I have from so many here at HPS. Working with counselors who I know are there for me if I need them is invaluable. I can think of the many times I needed help to get something done. There has always been someone to lend a hand. If it wasn't for the amazing teamwork everyone puts forth, I wouldn't be able to do the job I do. I greatly appreciate the trust Mr. Waka and the other administrators have put in me, supporting and encouraging me to implement my ideas for our school. I am grateful for all the students who have taught me so much and are so gifted. They motivate me to do my best, not only for them, but for myself. The work I do on a daily basis has been able to provide me with the comfort in knowing I am not only making a positive impact in a town that has meant so much to me, but is making my family proud as well. As Heldon Police Director, my grandfather always wanted to do his best for the town he served and lived in. I know he's looking down on me, watching me, and is proud. My mother went to school here, and at times she still thinks we are two separate buildings, but even so, the memories she has of her teachers are all positive. I hope the students have the same memories of me as my mother does of her teachers. I consider myself privileged to show my children, Joey, Billy, and Anna, who have been sitting over there so nicely, that hard work pays off, having passion for what you do makes you happy, and how impactful a supportive family can be. Thank you, Nick, Mom, and Dad. Thank you for acknowledging me with this honor tonight and allowing me to share with you what it means for me to come to work every morning in a place that reminds me I wouldn't want to be a school counselor anywhere else.
So before we break, for some pictures, and I had written some, comments to the, awardees in my report, but I have the feeling that you're all gonna be gone by then. So I'm gonna read them now so that you can get them. So I want to sincerely thank Beth Barnhill for her service and dedication to HPS for the past 20 years. As I noted when we first got word of her pending retirement, Ms. Barnhill has contributed greatly to the professional development as well as the success of our students. Her close attention to curriculum development as well as state testing data has helped guide the administration and staff so that they can provide our students with the resources they need to succeed. I'm quite sure I'm not aware of all the things that Ms. Barnhill carried out on a daily basis, but on behalf of the board, I offer my appreciation for her contributions and wish her the very best in her retirement. Next, I want to congratulate our Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Jennifer Polizano, and our Educational Services Professional of the Year, Ms. Lauren Cosgrove, on this deserved recognition. As I mentioned recently, Mrs. Polizano has been a dedicated teacher at HPS for many, many years. She has endeared herself to her colleagues, the community, including her students' parents and families, but most importantly, her students. Many times I've seen students running up to Mrs. Polizano to give her a hug or wave a big hello to her. When you consistently earn the trust of your students, that says a lot about you as an educator and as a person. Congratulations, Mrs. Polizano. Ms. Cosgrove was teaching 3rd grade at HPS when she seized the opportunity to take on a new role, that of social emotional learning counselor, and has embraced this position with great enthusiasm and professionalism. Under her guidance, HPS has benefited from many assemblies, projects, and initiatives that aim to give students confidence, motivation, self-respect, aware of self and others, and the tools and resources they need to deal with matters that can affect or hinder their social emotional learning or perspective. Mrs. Cosgrove strives to make a significant and positive impact on students' well-being, and this shows through all the activity taking place in her area. Congratulations, Ms. Cosgrove. Lastly, I want to congratulate once again Mr. Emilio Toronto from our custodial staff on his retirement. Mr. Toronto has served our school with dedication, professionalism, care, and kindness for 15 years. He has also done so with confidence, professionalism, and hospitality, welcoming visitors with a friendly smile and a helping hand. That was certainly always my experience. But congratulations to Emilio, and we hope that he enjoys his retirement to the fullest. So the rest of my speech is more boring, and we'll break now for some photos, but I just want to congratulate again, everybody on who's received the award. Yes?
I'd like to thank them also as a grandparent, a mother, and a community involvement. These beautiful ladies have respected me and welcomed me. We have been here for 3 years. Ms. Beth, thank you. I just met you in the parking lot. You gave me 10 minutes of your time. To me, it's priceless. The respect and the love that you have for these children. And yes, we are a family. And I only have been here 3 years. My grandkids are here. So thank you so, so much. The best for you.
Thank you. And Lee, could you just spell your name and your address for the? Oh, okay. Okay, it's okay. Okay,
Thank you. Good job.
okay. Yeah, so let's take about 10-minute breaks with, so you guys can take photos and then we'll reconvene. So now let's get back to the agenda. Let's see. Can I have a motion to approve prior minutes?
So move. Second.
Moved by Mr. Motzko, seconded by Mr. Ramadan. I'm sorry, Mr. Abbasi, roll call, please.
Are all 3 sets in this one vote? Because there's 3 sets of minutes.
Yeah, they are. There's 3 sets of minutes. How did I not see them?
There's the minutes from the meeting, there's the retreat, and then the executive minutes.
We had Jeff here, if you ask him, just to.
What is the question?
Are we voting on all 3 at once?
We could have voted for it. We could.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, Mr. Abbasi?
yes.
Okay, Ms. Quadrado?
Yeah.
Mr. Guzman?
Yes.
Mr. Boxell,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan,
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
yes,
and Mrs. Russo.
Yes. Okay. Can I have a motion to open the floor to citizens on agenda items only?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Vassie, seconded by Mr. Motzko. Roll call, please.
Mr. Vassie,
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado,
Yeah,
Mr. Guzman. Mr. Guzman.
George.
Mr. Boxell,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan,
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
yes,
Mrs. Russo.
Yes. Okay, the floor is open to.
Right, now, so I'll go for it, stuff that out. Just a couple questions on some of the agenda items, 9.2. I wasn't aware of all the contracts that we actually have, do we utilize all of them? And, like, keys was on the list. I wasn't aware if we use them for anything or we just have contracts, just to have contracts. 16.7, I would like the board to reconsider the person they have chosen or the only bid that was entered into the lunch program. Parents and children have voiced their opinion, planning of clinics to change the lunch company. So if we can change that. And then again with 16.22, Southside Soccer Club use of facilities, will there be a fee? If so, what's the cost? Also, I want to point out the obvious, which is Chris Zamora is an aide here. Just a couple of months ago, Jose Zamora is on the Board of Ed for Manchester, who was also declined to use the Manchester field. So why would we approve it here? That's all.
Anybody else? Anybody online? Delvin, anybody online? No? Okay, can I have a motion to close the floor?
So move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Vassie,
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado, Mr. Guzman,
yes,
Mr. Boxell,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan,
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
yes,
and Mrs. Russo.
Yes. So I did want to address the point about the long list of vendors, because I actually made a note about that. That list is impressive, and I know it comes up every year, but it just always strikes me how long that list is, and to me, it just drives home how much it takes to run a school district. I believe that we use those vendors at some point, is that right, Ms. Augustin? Otherwise they wouldn't be on the list.
Yeah, and
So
they've
they've been utilized sometime through this year. Is that
they're
right?
anticipated contracts, not necessarily that we use them. We go to our vendor list that we've used in the last, any active vendors that we've used in the last couple of years, and we print that list and we add those to the agenda. Every year, just so that the board knows these are the vendors that we currently have used, and we possibly can use them throughout the year. It doesn't mean that we will use them.
It's so that it's approved if we need to, but we have in the past.
Yes, we have in the past. Yep.
Okay, so I mean, this always drives home to me the fact that it takes so much to manage districts, and not the least of which is managing the expenses. So I just want to thank Ms. Augustin and her team for staying on top of things, making sure that we're crossing all our T's and dotting our I's and keeping operations in order. Because it's a big job. It's a big job. And that list just, emphasizes that. And then the mass shows, if you would, Ms. Augustin, if you would discuss that when we get to either during, I don't know if you were going to discuss it in your report, but when we get to the finance, I mean, I don't think there's any option.
I have it in my superintendent report.
Okay, good. I mean, I don't think there's any option. Nobody else,
They're the only ones that.
bids. Yeah, so, but yes, those are,
I think we have. In the last meeting, we approved the use of services with the fees associated, right, for using the facilities.
I don't know what meeting that was, but we do that every year. I know that.
Yeah, so there is a fee for them to use the facility.
If
Like
we-
the
if we
soccer
wanna-
field,
If we wish to charge it that fee.
if we wish to.
Yep.
okay. move on to adoption, let me make sure I'm not skipping anything. Adoptions, oh. Can I have a motion to accept 7.1?
So move.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Mr. Abasi?
so I do have a quick question on this one. Um, it's tuition rates for 24-25. The document mentions 22-23 is the subject. So have these rates changed or have they been flat the last few years?
So the rates that we receive as the attachment is from the state, so the state audits our tuition costs versus, our operational costs versus, their student enrollment. So we're always technically a year behind, but we use that to operate going forward, if that makes sense. Yeah, so they do an audit every year, and you can see most of this on, the taxpayer's guide for expenditures, you'll see those same costs.
Okay.
If you search that.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mrs. Quadrado,
Yeah.
Mr. Guzman,
Yes.
Mr. Matzo,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan,
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
Yes.
Mrs. Issa.
Yes. Okay, so we have some contracts here. Can I have a motion to move 9.1 through 9.8?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Quadrado, seconded by Mr. Motzko. Roll call, please.
Mr. Abasi?
So I have a couple of questions on this one too.
Yes, sir.
So 9.4, the frontline education applicant tracking. So that's a software program that's used to track who's
It's
applying or what? Or
It's two things, so. If we decide we're gonna post a job, if someone leaves or we create a new position or something like that, we post it on Frontline. Frontline is then gonna advertise it in the way that they advertise it and spread the word. But everyone that works at the public school, the first thing you do if you apply through Frontline, we have a record of when you applied, and it has all the application questions and information. But if you go to the bottom of our webpage where it says employment opportunities, you click on that, it's going to directly link you to the front line that we have public, and that's how you apply.
Okay, and then 9.8, the refuse and pick up, the waste management, that's just normal garbage? Is
Yeah,
that all
so
that
we
is?
have that.
Garbage and recycling?
Yeah, so garbage and recycling that company comes and picks up our.
Okay.
Contract.
That is 22 grand for each year,
Yes.
really? Can we have volunteer parents take a bucket of garbage and put on?
Do you want to start? If you think you can do it,
And Elder doesn't have the truck to do it. But they have to pick
The
up
big
the dumpster. up.
dumpster.
Yeah,
I've been fighting that for the last few years.
they don't have the.
They don't have the
dumpster
dumpster pickup.
Okay,
Yeah, some people.
So that's why.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, Ms. Quadrado,
Yeah.
Mr. Guzman,
Yes.
Matzo,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan,
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
Yes.
Mrs. Issa.
I did have one question about 9.5 Sourcewell Cooperative. I just wanted to know what that contract was. I don't remember that being on a previous agenda.
So, Sourcewell is another co-op that we can use to, do any type of, service contract or any type of, business with the list of vendors that they have gone out to bid for on the behalf of school districts. So just like we have Huntington and we have, Middlesex co-ops, this is another co-op company that we're approving to utilize their vendor list. Okay.
And it could be any vendor, any vendor.
Yes, that's on their
That's
list.
on
That's
their list.
already went out to bid, bidding.
Thank you. Okay, I vote yes. Okay. See, okay, committee reports. So, I mean. Okay, so. First, I want to talk a little bit about our board retreat, which took place on June 3rd. I want to thank everyone who attended. think it was a really important activity. It was a very productive day. And I also wanted, it was our board members, our chief school administrator, Mr. Waka, and our business administrator, Ms. Augustin. During the retreat, we discussed how our board service can help move the district forward, how it relates to our district's strategic plan, and how this connects back to our board goals. We discussed hot topics in education, including the teacher shortage, budget cuts across the state, and how these things impact our school. We covered communication and social media best practices, and we reflected on the board goals we developed and approved last year, which were increased commissioner attendance at board and committee meetings and increased professional development for the board as a unit. So after an in-depth discussion, we agreed that it would be beneficial to refine those two goals and then add a third. So I'm going to read these goals. They are proposed only at the moment. Number one was the same, increase commissioner attendance at board and committee meetings. Number two, establish a policy on virtual attendance of board meetings by commissioners and the public, addressing in particular executive session. And number three, prioritize, this is one that we changed a little bit, prioritize dynamic and creative approaches to board professional development, which will foster teamwork and increase commissioners' knowledge. So Kathleen Hallowell did a wonderful job of facilitating our retreat. Once we have the summary report from Ms. Hallowell and members have had a chance to review it, we will add our new goal to the next meeting agenda to be voted on. Assuming that the goals are approved, I will be asking the policy committee to do some research, have some language around a new board policy regarding virtual attendance at meetings. Please note that we are not looking to eliminate virtual attendance, as I believe this is a beneficial option. We simply are looking to create some guidance around this practice that would benefit everyone. Secondly, without stealing too much of Mr. Waka's thunder, I want to mention just a couple of exciting events that have taken place at HPS since our last meeting. The PTA Carnival was great fun for all students. The PTA board and all the volunteers did a great job organizing the event and everything running smoothly. Thanks to them, as well as the staff and administration for all the support. I heard that the 8th grade dance was a spectacular night for the soon-to-be graduates, and I saw some photos and everyone looked fabulous. And it's a wonderful way for students to culminate their years at HPS. And though I wasn't in attendance at the annual HPS talent show, I also heard that that was a real success, with students showcasing all of their many talents. So kudos to the performers and the staff who made it possible. These celebratory events are important because they let students know that their hard work throughout the year is recognized and rewarded. So thanks to everyone involved. And lastly, I want to congratulate board member Ms. Quadrato on her college graduation from William Patterson a few weeks ago. It's hard to go to work, go to school, serve in a volunteer role, and most importantly, be a parent. So congratulations on your accomplishments, and we wish you continue. And with that, I will turn it over to Chief School Administrator, Mr. Walker.
That is awesome. Congratulations. I really like that ceremony that we had for the retiree, the Teacher of the Year, and every year the speeches you get from Teacher of the Year candidates or Teacher of the Year winners, they're different and they're always good, but I just really like the tone of this year's especially. So thank you to them. This is the last board meeting before we end our school year for the kids, and our graduation will be held on the 19th, and we're looking forward to that event. The 8th graders have been busy. Their end of the year trip and their PTA put together a really lovely prom, like you said. It really was great. The kids looked great, and they behaved extremely maturely, and they had a lot of fun together. And we know that with our school, they're a group that stays together until 8th grade, and then a lot of them go their own ways. So our eighth grade graduation and it is a little different than a lot of other places, for that reason. So it's more special. So we thank the PTA for all the end of the year programs they put together, but especially for our eighth graders. And we thank them also for putting together such a great carnival last week. And what we do is we don't use the traditional bring your child to work day. We move ours to the carnival day so that, you know, the staff can bring their own kids to this cool event and they, you know, it's makes for a better time. And I also want to thank Mashios because they put together the barbecue that day for our staff and our students. And normally we barbecue in the parking lot, but because of the construction, but we just wouldn't want to lose even more parking on that day. So we thought the barbecue for everybody is going to be canceled. But they were able to grill off-site and transfer the food to the big gym. And it was such a good setup that we think maybe this is probably the way to go moving forward. And speaking of Mashios, we had 3 vendors express interest in our food service contract. But Mashios was the only one, they were the only vendor that submitted a bid. So because of that, not surprisingly, they won. And they'll continue to be our food service vendor. And it doesn't mean we have to keep them always, but they're the only ones that bid, so they're the only ones that bid. Lastly, I want to give some updates on the construction projects. We're going to gain back access to all the rooms we lost by mid-August, so that's a really good news. Maybe even sooner, and that's huge for us in terms of our master scheduling. I know that lots of teachers, they've had to make tremendous adjustments throughout the year. And all I could do is say that I'm extremely grateful for their professionalism. They really are so good at this. But getting these rooms back is going to be amazing. We also expect that new rooms should be finished and move-inable by that first week of November, right by election day, which is actually a great time to transition into them. So once we get closer to the finish line, we'll plan a ribbon cutting ceremony and a dedication to this large project. We're working on our inclusive playground structure. I know after tonight, we're going to look to reach out to the company and look to begin the scheduling of that. But right now we have earmarked a 2-week window in August where they're going to come in. And if you've been to our playground, you'll see that this mat's on its last leg. Like it's got to go once this school year ends. We're going to put the new mat in and a lot of cooperative and inclusive and sensory playground equipment all throughout, not just one little section, but all throughout the park. And we think it's going to be a huge boon to our school. And we're also, we talked to our architects, the Carabino, today about our front door security projects. Lamika and I made a lot of headway on that today, and I believe that probably in one of the summertime board meetings, I'll have much more detailed information. But we think it's going to be probably a lot cheaper than we thought. I want to echo your word. The board retreat was awesome. It was like everybody came there and was focused on, we came to work that day, right? And the food was great too, but everybody was really focused. I love that. I want to thank Commissioner Omar Abbasi for coming to our talent show. He also wanted to come to our chess club day, but I think I gave him the wrong time, so that's me a culpa. And then tonight we have an executive session, but they're going to talk about me, so I don't get to be there. So that's it. Nope.
Thank you, Mr. Wonderful.
Can I ask a question? That's the previous mat in the playground. How long has that been down? Do we know?
I think we were a little, I don't think we were very happy with the quality of the quality of the actual product. I know that the same company did some work in Essex County and also where I'm a board member of Verona, and we've had the same experience where we were underwhelmed with it. And it just got to a point where, you know, we had to get there.
So just for the new one, is there like I'm trying to look through the contract now, but is there like a guarantee of integrity for a certain number of years or anything like that?
Yes, that quite several times, and then the product is better, the quality, the materials are a better material. So nothing in life is a guarantee, but we did press a company that we're not going to move forward unless you're providing us with the quality project. And I'm leaving to the director of facilities to make sure that they're monitoring the process, but the materials is different than what was already in there. So that was the biggest conversation we had with this company during the process, because we want, it should last longer than what the current one lasts.
Is there Do they have, can they point to like a couple of the properties that have been put down in the last 3 to 5 years?
I can ask them.
You could go do a drive-by, see how it's holding up.
You wanna do that?
Yeah. No, I
No,
think that's a very good
It's
idea.
a big expense. We want to make sure we're getting a good
When we
quality
Googled the
product.
name, I didn't see any like negative Yelp reviews come up, but I think that's a valid thing, and if we can get, we'll ask the guy, Mr. Stewart, who sells the thing, if he can give us a local comp that he's put in, I'd be happy to take a ride over after work one day and take pictures and show.
So how long has we had this one?
Well, off the top of my head, I don't know if I can give you an accurate answer, but I've
Over
been here
5
for
years?
7 or 8 years, and I think we're still on the same one that we had when I got here. Like, I don't remember ever, as a principal, organizing a project to get that replaced. And if I've been here 8 years, it's at least that, but I don't know how much earlier since I got here that the district did that.
And since we've been talking about vendors, it sounds like the vendor who put that one in has done some unsatisfactory jobs at other places. Is there some recourse, like
I don't think he's in business, from my understanding.
Okay, so but just in general, if there's a vendor, even if they're approved, if they haven't done quality work, and more than one district can speak to that, there should be some recourse.
We've had the same exact
At least get them
conversation,
off the
Verona,
list,
same exact conversation, and it's more of the districts that have complaints seem like they deny, and it becomes a lot of lead cost to set this thing up. Without the guarantee that, it's gonna be a win, because they're gonna say, hey, in Verona and Essex County, they said, the rain came down and it froze and the ice spread things out, and there's a lot of yada, yada, yada kind of things. And we just didn't think it was worth it fiscally to fight it, because the win was guaranteed.
I'm not even
But I-
talking about like trying to get, money back. I'm just talking about getting them off the list so that they don't do that to any other district, they don't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
know.
But I do want to follow that suggestion. I'll find out from Mr. Stewart tomorrow, a local comp, and I'll go and take pictures, and we'll see. And if there's something that comes up that we don't like, then we'll just right immediately say, start again.
So we find the contract, not, we don't need that.
Any other questions? Okay, and then I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Augustine for her report.
Okay, so Mr. Walker talked about quite a few things I was gonna talk about in my report. But just so the board members know, you all received the invitation to the graduation here and also graduation at Manchester. You could just let us know if you're attending so that we can plan accordingly for your attendance at both commencement ceremonies. My plan was to just go through the financial section of the agenda because there is a lot on here and I want to be able to answer the questions and see whether, you guys need any additional information other than what's already attached to the agenda. So the first item was the 16.1, which is the purchase of the school vehicle. We've talked about this for a couple of months. That the district was in need of purchasing a new vehicle for our maintenance department. The last vehicle that we had, we needed some repairs, auto body repairs. We submitted it to the insurance company and the truck was insalvageable, so we could not get it insured anymore. So we did sell it or gave it to a salvage company. They gave us about $600 for it. Then we had to go out and get a new truck. We contacted the Essex County co-op and they provided the prices for us for the truck. And the itemized cost, there is discounts included in it. The base price was about $63, and then we had $8,000 snowplow that was added to it, which, the district is needing. And it does have a extended cab, so that was the difference in price. And vehicles are just more expensive now to purchase versus, quite a few years ago. Any questions on that? Because I know there were some people reached out to me regarding it.
Just real quick then on the plow,
Mhm.
to operate the plow, do you need like a certification or can anybody get behind it? Do we have somebody that can operate the plow?
Yeah, we do
Plows?
have, we had an existing one on our current truck, and I think we were discussing selling that one on Gov Deals to see if we can get some additional funds on that. We're going to look forward to doing that. So that'll probably be on the next agenda to dispose of, and then we sell it on drug deals to see what we get, to offset some of these costs. The next item, we have our payment application for our addition. This is payment application number 6, for $385. We are well, in our process of the construction. Things are moving along pretty well, and Mr. Walker gave us some updates on some timelines, so we're hoping that, everything, bearing any unforeseen items, everything will be on schedule. 16.3 is the certificate of implementation. This is just a confirmation that we have to submit to the state, showing that we implemented some of the corrective action plans that we approved in previous agenda regarding the water. On 16.4, we discussed, this is the food service program prices for the new school year. Our adult prices for breakfast is $2.50, and our adult prices for lunches is $3.75. The additional items we had next is 16.5, 16.6, and 16.7 are our emergency reserves. This we approve every year, and the resolution, as it's stated, says this is what we can potentially put into these reserves barring our audit at the end of the year. So this is for the 23-24 going into next year, and after we do our audit and the auditor, these are the amounts that we can potentially put into the agenda, depending on the surplus that we have at the end of the year. So is there any questions on that? Right. Then we have 16.8. The district applied for the emergent capital grant that the state had put out a few months ago. And there's an attachment showing that we are going to apply these grants towards our project to offset some of the costs. Then we have our change orders, which is 16.9, 16.10. These are allowances that are already embedded to it in our existing contract that we went out to bid. So there's no change into the overall amount of the contract. These are just items that are embedded into the contract in case there is some unforeseen items or any other allowances that we may need to use. As of right now, the district has primarily used allowance number 1, which is for unforeseen items. And there is a list of things that we have made decisions on moving forward with in order to continue with the project in a timely manner. Any questions on that? 16.11, we have recycle items. These are the Chromebooks. From my understanding that these Chromebooks are stripped of usable parts that we can use, and anything that is not usable, we recycle them with the company that takes this, the shell of the Chromebooks. And these are usually the ones that have ended, their life cycle has ended at this time. 16.12, we talked about the playground upgrades, and 16.13 all the way to 16 are usual finance reports that we approve every agenda. And we have 16.17, which is our Mashio School Service contract. We discussed that with the superintendent report. And 16.18 is our community eligibility provision. This has to do with food service, health and public school. If we have a total applicants of 40% of more applications of free and reduced, then the whole district is considered CEP, and all students are eligible for free lunch. But we do need parents to understand that they need to fill out the applications every year in order for us to keep this percentage the way it is. So it's very important that parents comply every year when it comes to filling out the application, because as long as we have this information, we can continue with the CEP program if the free and reduced rate is over 40% for our district. Okay. And then we have the renewal of the membership for the New Jersey School Board. This school jobs, this is where we can also advertise jobs that are available through the school districts. This is where a lot of people also go to look for employment. So we are utilizing this media service also. And the music program and the summer program, that's, I don't know if there's any explanation needed, but if so, Mr. Walker can help us with that. And then use of facilities we discussed, and the rest of the items are contracts for the child study team. And we have one more change order on 16.29. Okay, if there's any other questions, I just wanted to make sure because this was a big agenda and we had a lot of different items and I did receive emails from the board, which we do on every board meeting. You guys are pretty good at getting these questions to me prior and explaining them, but I just wanted to make sure we all were on the same page with understanding all these renewals. In every June, there will be a lot of renewals and a lot of new contracts, okay? All right, that's my report.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Augustine. All right. Okay. So, personnel and management, Mr. Guzman.
Yes, good evening. Congratulations to our retirees. Thank them for their service to our school district. Also want to congratulate our teacher in education of the year. And with that being said, agenda items only.
Okay. Curriculum and technology, Dr. Webb.
Hello, agenda items only. I'm happy to see that there is an LLD program being established. I think it's so important for, I believe there's 4 students there to be able to serve in the other areas, be able to have music and art and all those other subjects with their peers. So agenda items only.
You. Policy and public relations, Mr. Abasi.
So just echoing what you said about the board retreat, we're expecting to have to establish a policy on virtual attendance, especially as it relates to the executive sessions. And aside from that, nothing to report.
Okay. Security and safety, Mr. Guzman. Mr. Guzman, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I also want to congratulate Dr. Webb and also fellow board member Quadrado for graduating. And I believe we have 1 item listed on the agenda. I'm sorry, 2. No, 3. Thank you.
You. Community engagement, Mr. Abasi.
And again, just echoing what actually both of you already said, Mr. Walker and Madam President, regarding the talent show. It was nice to see. It was good attendance. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully we can get more people there next year. I thought I had a lot of fun with that. And open challenge to anybody that beats Mr. Walker in chess. Let's see if they can beat a board member as well. That's it. Otherwise, nothing to report.
And then finance and fiscal plan, Mr. Monson.
We met, we went over the bills, went over the agenda items that we have on. Other than that, that's it.
So I'll do my state report after we go through these. Okay. So personnel and management, Mr. Guzman.
I'd like to move the items on the personnel.
So move. Second.
Moved by Mr. Guzman, seconded by Mr. Motzko. Roll call, please.
Just one real quick question. 1114, what's MLR? I'm not familiar with what MLR is.
1114, oh, 14.
11 and 14.
It's middle school ELA. I think multi-level resource, perhaps. I don't know what the exact MLR stands for, but I know he's going to be doing middle school English.
Middle school English. Okay. Yes.
Ms. Quadrado,
Yeah.
Mr. Guzman,
Yes.
Mr. Matzo,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan,
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
Yes.
and Mrs.
Yes. Okay, curriculum and technology, Dr. Webb. Dr. Webb? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was muted. I would like to move 12.1 through 12.4.
Second.
Okay, so moved by Dr. Webb, seconded by Mr. Motzko. Roll call, please.
Mr. Abasi,
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado.
Yeah.
Mr. Guzman,
Yes.
Mr. Moxel,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan,
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
Yes.
and Ms. Zisman.
Yes. Okay, skipping down to security and safety, Mr. Guzman.
I'd like to move the items on the agenda under security and safety.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Guzman, seconded by Mr. Motzko. Roll call, please.
Mr. Abasi,
I just, one quick question and then. Well, two quick questions. On 14.2, is this a renewal or is this? Or is this a new?
I know it's been on the
We
agenda
had to pay
before.
insurance for it, so I think we had to show the board approved and submit that to get insured.
So this particular person was.
He's carried it for the last 2 years here.
And then 14.3, this is a really long document. Is there like a summary that we can reference? I'll be honest, I didn't read it. It was way too long.
Oh, so basically, it's that we're gonna work together. So say I pushed, when I pushed the lockdown drill, please come, then it becomes the police school, right? And when that happens, they could use their cameras to access our cameras from their police, their headquarters or their vehicles. But it's basically saying we're gonna work together and it kind of defines what the roles are.
And this is the document that is on every year, and I think, it
It's
basically
the
stays the
It's
same.
requirement, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the same.
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado.
Yeah.
Mr. Guzman,
Just real quick, if I may, under 14.2, pretty much pursuant to state law, you're not authorized to carry a firearm on school property, unless you have permission of the board. Obviously, there's exceptions such as being a law enforcement officer. So with Mr. Smith, we have to renew him yearly to give him permission to carry a firearm on duty while he's at the school. And that's also for insurance purposes. As far as the memorandum of agreement between education and law enforcement officials, this is a standard agreement that was suggested by the Attorney General's office years ago for police departments and their school districts to consider. And we believe in it. We don't change anything in it. We adopt the model policy and we present every year. And pretty much what this says is, for example, instead of the Halen police, let's say they're going to come in with canine dogs, let's say, to sniff for drugs in the school. We have signed in this agreement that we will only do that in consultation with the school district. We're not just going to take it upon ourselves, so this is all about working collaboratively, such as, let's say there's a bomb threat, right? The police department has command. However, what this says is that, we will be working in conjunction with our school district authorities on decision making, and incident command and things like that. So a lot of interesting things up here, such as plainclothes officers being in the school and for example, how a student is arrested. In this unless there's an emergency, it says that in this policy it says that they would rather a student should a student have to be arrested, and there's no imminent danger or imminent threat, they would want that arrest to take place in the principal's office, privately, and then take away the child in a unmarked vehicle instead of a marked vehicle, things like that. Thank you very much, and my vote is yes.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, George.
Guzman.
Mr. Moxel,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan,
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
Yes.
Mrs. Zisman.
Yes, and I just got a direct message in the chat from Mr. Martinez that he's on, and he's the one that's a Samsung.
Oh,
So, if he could be, I don't know if he's still there, if he could be unmuted. I don't see him now.
I don't see.
It was, Samsung something,
Here he
else.
is.
Oh, there, okay, he's in the waiting room now. Let us know when he's on, Delvin.
He's on.
He's on? Okay. All right, Mr. Martinez, have you been there all along?
Yeah, I just logged off and put my face and my name on it because it came under Samsung, so that's why I wasn't voting.
Never happy.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on. That's, I think it was, no, finance,
It's,
yeah, finance, Mr. Motzko.
16, like move 16.1 to 16.49.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Motzko, seconded by Mr. Abasi. Roll call, please.
Mr. Abasi?
One quick question on the truck, 16-1,
Uh-huh.
that amount, is that planned for in the budget, that total amount?
For, we're utilizing funds for this year.
In the 23-24 budget?
It's for 22-23 because we
Okay.
purchased it.
All right, yes.
Ms. Quadrado?
I'm gonna abstain from purchase orders from 1628, 401364, and 400629. And also from the change orders, I believe, expeditures, 71180.
You said from the change order?
16.5, I think, no, that's not. I wrote it down wrong, I'm sorry. From the report. From the secretary report, expediter 71180. So that's 16.15. And other than that, yeah.
Mr. Guzman?
Yes.
Mr. Martinez?
Yes, yes.
Mr. Matzo?
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan?
Yes.
Dr. Webb?
Yes.
And Mrs. Issa.
Yes. Okay, I will give my state report, Passaic County. The last Passaic County SBA meeting took place on May 29. It was a really nice event. The Passaic County Teacher of the Year, Miss Amanda Rhodes from the Clifton School District, and the New Jersey Superintendent of the Year, Dr. Nicholas Bernice from the Ringwood School District, gave very touching speeches and words of advice. Other awards were given out as well. Congratulations to our own Carlos Motzko and George Wisman for achieving certified board member. And even though he's on the Essex County School Board, congratulations to Mr. Waka for achieving new board members certification for his service on the Borough Board of Education. And that's really it. Mr. Merlino, do you have anything to report?
No report tonight.
Okay. Okay, well, then let's see, do we have any new or old business?
So just real quick, I heard something, I think it was a news report on the radio of a couple of school districts in New Jersey and New York that have like these noise sensors now or something like that in the bathroom, where they can, if there's something going on, because you can't have cameras in the bathrooms, it alerts them that maybe something's going on in there. And then there was something else about sensors for vaping in the bathrooms. So I don't know if that's something that we might want to look at for adoption here in terms of safety and security, but something to consider. There's something I heard, I thought it was.
That's interesting. I've heard that. All right.
It sounds like a modern day version of like a smoke
I've
detector.
never heard of the noise thing is interesting. The vape thing, you know, I've got.
Like, it's not a microphone that spies on people in the bathroom, but if there's a noise event, it's like, hey, something's going on.
Like the
Company called My
Yeah.
Lead that does that.
What's that?
I think there's a company called My Lead that does.
But like the vape detector, it sounds like a modern day smoke detector, right? Like when, you know, there would always be smoke detectors in the school bathrooms in case somebody was smoking cigarettes. So this is kind of like a modern day.
I know a lot of high schools have that. I think it's less common in elementary schools.
Yeah.
Because we're also middle school, you know, yeah. But I don't think it's necessarily, I know we didn't budget for it next year. It's not something that we shouldn't still research or look into. I don't go with that.
Pretty sure we'll let this happen. Let this happen.
It's definitely worth looking
Every
into.
time the flushes. The noise goes off.
Anything else? All right, then, can I have a motion to open the floor to, the public?
So move.
Second.
Second,
By Mr. Abbasi, seconded by was that Dr. Rupp?
So it was short.
No,
Or was it Mr. Goodman?
I heard George.
it was me, Rafi.
Oh, Mr. Martinez, okay. Roll call, seconded by Mr. Martinez, roll call, please.
Mr. Rossi,
Yes.
Mr. Grotto,
Yeah.
Mr. Guzman,
Yes.
Mr. Martinez,
Yes,
Mr. Mato,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan,
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
Yes.
and Mrs. Wilson.
Yes. Okay, the floor is open. Anybody? No, nobody on here, anybody online? Okay. Can I have a motion to close the floor?
So move.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Abbasi, seconded by Mr. Moscow, roll call, please.
Mr. Abbasi,
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado.
Yeah.
Mr. Guzman,
Yes.
Mr. Martinez,
yes,
Mr. Mato,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan.
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
Yes.
and Mrs. Wilson.
Yes. Okay, so we are now going to, we have to make a motion to go into executive session. I'm going to say that we'll take an hour. It's not gonna take 2 minutes. I'm gonna say an hour, though it may not take that long. It may take a little longer depending on our discussion, you know, so, you are
I'll
excused.
see you when I see you.
Okay,
Bye, guys.
and you're gonna go too.
So after we do the motion to go into.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you, public, for coming. Okay.
You gotta say no action.
And no action will be taken. Okay, can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So move.
Second. Moved by
Mr.
Mr.
Rossi, good?
Mr. Bassi moved and Ms. Quadrado seconded.
Okay.
Roll call?
Mr. Rossi,
Yes.
Ms. Quadrado.
Yes.
Mr. Guzman.
Oh, he's there. Mr. Goodman? He's mute.
Mr. Martinez,
My vote
yes,
was
he said yes.
Yeah, he said yes, yeah.
Mr. Mato,
Yes.
Mr. Ramadan,
Yes.
Dr. Webb,
Yes.
and Mrs. Wilson.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I think it's just us. So can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
second,
Okay, adjourned, moved by Mr. Abbasi, seconded by Mr. Moscow, all in favor?
Yes.
aye.
Okay,
Aye.
thanks, everyone, good night.
Rafi.